Zeta.
It's a silly name, isn't it, Zeta?
What do you mean it's a silly name? It's my grandmother's name.
Was she Greek?
No, she wasn't Greek, but it's a Greek name. And it's named, supposedly, my grandmother tells me, it's named after a battleship that went around the Cape Horn. But my grandmother's a great drama queen, so whether that story's true or not, I don't know, but I know it's my story, so I'm sticking to it.
Yeah. You haven't found that it held you back or anything, having a Zeta in there?
But it is a bit long, but I was christened Catherine Zeta-Jones. My other grandmother's called Catherine, so I thought, well, it's my name, so let's use it.
Now, your picture is everywhere at the moment.
Yeah.
Fame has kind of arrived in a burst over the last 2 weeks. You've been called a sex kitten, a darling bud of May. How do you find coping with this sudden interest?
Well, I think you have to put it in perspective, really, and realise that I'm here to do a job that I love. And in doing that job, other things come into it.
Yeah.
And you need it in a way, but it becomes a hassle if you want to continue in a career. But I'm just putting it to myself to say that that's part of the job and take it with a piece of salt.
Yes, but it must be good. Are there a lot of offers flowing in? Any interesting offers?
Well, I'm booked to do the second series of Darling Buds of May, so that takes me up to near the end of the year. But I've got some personal things that I want to do. I want to be singing again, because that's how I started off, and so I need to have some time and to concentrate, get my energies in that direction. And also, I'd love to do another film.
Is it a tough business? Do you have to be tough to survive?
Well, I've been in it for quite a while. I did theatre for a long time. I did musical comedy. And that's a very hard business to go into because it's dog eat dog. I went into 42nd Street as a chorus girl. And it's, you're there with 1,000 other chorus girls waiting to get a job, and it's hard.
How young were you when you started?
I did Annie and Bugsy Malone as a child, but I was 16. I left school to go to get my equity card, which was the most important thing for me at that time.
And were you encouraged into this by your family? Was there anybody in the family who was a dancer or an actor?
Nobody.
How did you get that into your head?
I think it's just an ambition that I always had. I went to dancing class. I was interested in the youth drama, and I wanted to do all these things. And I had a chance to do that when I left school to get my equity card, and so I bashed into it.
You got a good break with 42nd Street.
Yeah, I was a chorus girl, and I took over then the lead.
Well,
so that springboarded me.
You were the second understudy, weren't you?
I was second understudy, and then the girl hurt her knee, and I took over. And within 45 minutes' notice, I was thrown on to do the show. But it was difficult to get, not difficult, but I wanted to get out of that musical comedy actress for a while and try and work on the straight side of it.
Yeah, well, it's difficult to make a living, as every actor and actress who comes on says. But you then got into European films. How did you make that one bound from 42nd Street into that?
Well, I went for loads of interviews over here in England, and I hate to say it, but I felt that they weren't taking me serious as a straight actress. And so I went for this movie. It's a comedy fantasy film based on the Arabian Nights. And it was to play Scheherazade, and I went for numerous screen tests because the producer said, no, she's an English girl. She can't do a French film. And so I went to do this. And it was 4 months in the African desert shooting it, and it was great, and I learned so much about making films and the different discipline and the different technique of working for a camera on that film. It was wonderful.
How is it that you had to go to Europe to get a break in films? Well, normally people go to Hollywood or they see if they can get a chance.
Well, the French director came over here to find a star, and I went for the casting director, and he was interested in me immediately, and I kept saying, but I'm not a star, because he didn't know, he said, well, you're in 42nd Street, I said, but I'm not a name, people don't know me over here, and he wanted somebody to come from England, because he respects English actors and actresses very much. And so the producer, as I said, was completely adamant not to have an English unknown actress. But he pushed and he pushed and he pushed, and I eventually got the part. It was very strange. After doing one role like that, you get taken seriously. People will put that financial, grab on you. It's not a big financial. Films are so much money in them. If they can't take the chance of somebody who's not going to come up with the goods.